Today we'll be looking at a few lighting techniques and happy accidents that I've had on my recent shoot. All right, let's get into it. So the first tip is lighting spaces and not faces. What I mean by that is basically just lighting the whole location through a window to save time down the line. It might take a little bit more time up front to set up all the lights outside and be a little more complex in terms of location scouting and picking the right location when you can actually do this. But it really pays off later, because from an initial setup that puts you back, you can then really hop into the flow, and it really speeds the whole process up, and you and your subject and your crew will really appreciate the speed with which you're picking up shots between pretty much setups. So this happened on a shoot that I had with my friend Martin. You can see I have some media offline because who cares? Anyway, okay, what I'm trying to say here basically is that this shot, this shot, this shot, this shot, and this shot, and also this shot, and this shot, and that shot, pretty much are all the same lighting setup, except for bringing in some negative fill for the close-ups. But working from the wide to the inside really helped me to make this happen. So there's a lamp outside looking like this, shining here onto the wall. It's an Aperture 600D. It's a super strong light. We got lots of haze in here, and the windows are blown out. I don't particularly care about the windows being blown out because he's sitting right in front of it and I'm trying to get him backlit. And the happy accident in this one is this bounce from the wall over here, which comes right back onto him. So in this shot we can see the light is coming in here. We are pushing in some level from his right side, or camera left, and it's wrapping him nicely around with the light. It's also giving an eye light, and also above him there's a big skylight which also wraps him a little bit from the top. And in the close-up we put a floppy negative fill from this side to clean up the shadows a little. You can see some difference between all those shots, a little cleaner than some of these shots, because there's lots of brown and orange that bounces back on him, and it makes it really little dirty. So the close-ups are really great, and really cleaned up the blacks, and also added a little contrast to the shot. So basically the takeaway from this is that if you light from the outside with a single source, put haze in, which sometimes could be a nuisance really, because when we started with the haze, I was not sure how powerful the machine was, because we rented it from a rental company, and from the start we had way too much haze. Okay, haze, ale jenom trošičku, just a little bit. Okay. Tolik jsem chtěl. The haze could be a nuisance basically, and we had to wait until we had like acceptable level of haze, because at one time it was way too strong. So that's basically the lighting setup. Or everything after that really was fast. The first shot, basically the same setup. We just moved it over, blacked out the windows over here just to get some contrast. Had a little light coming here and bouncing again, but this time we use negative fill to actually eat up all that bounce. So we get a little bit more of a, if you have a look at it, a little bit more of a silhouette-y like a look, you know, yada yada yada. Okay, so what is the main takeaway out of this? It is basically, if you light spaces and not faces, the shoot will go really fast if the scene only really revolves from a camera looking in one direction, and you don't really have to change your setup. So definitely this is something I'm going to be looking for in my future shoots all the time, because it made everything so much easier and made the shoot as smooth as butter, really. Okay, on to the next one. If you've seen my last video, which was a spec car commercial, you know there were lots of wide shots which you basically cannot light on a small budget. But there were a few interior shots that really needed an extra kick and extra polish for these shots, and we're gonna look at them right now. So basically, for this shot of Mark in the interior, there's really doesn't seem to be much going on other than this eye light over here, which you don't know where it's really coming from. It seems to be coming from this direction, and there's only like a small aperture MC over here, giving him this eye light and all this light here and here and here, a little bit here, and it really brought him to more of a same level as the lights outside, which really helped him to stand out against the dark background. Also, you can see like the street lamps are lighting him over here. And for the back of the car, I actually laid a P60C, a little aperture or Amaran light panel with a teal color, which lit the roof up here, which I had to take down in the grade later on. But it really helped to separate his cap from the rest of the car. I had no suction cups. Next time I would really prefer to put the panel right here, just out of frame, and maybe kick it over here and give him a little bit of edge. It would probably have to be coming from a really high angle, and I had really no way to rig it. So the next best thing was to really just point the panel up at the ceiling and see if I can get any separation from his really dark cap against the very poorly lit ceiling of the whole thing. I took this tip, or I've seen a show on Netflix about journalists in their own right in LA that basically drive around looking for car crashes, in a nutshell, or fires and stuff like that. Those are cameramen, and they are lit from the inside with what I think is the aperture MC. Each of them is given a different color to light up their faces, to distinguish them and distinguish their characters. And I think it's lit the same way. I don't think it obstructs the driving too much on a low level, but it really helps bring out the dark interior, because really what you're getting naturally is this light in the lap and maybe like a silhouette from this side at this time of the day. So that's really not enough, and you really gotta help it. But then later in the night, in this car wash, we have another shot like that, exactly, with Mark sitting over here, and basically on this side, there's an Astera tube shining at him this way. So you can see this part of his face is kind of lit a little more. We're kind of giving him a little shape, and it really, again, helps him stand out against the background. Though this time you see I did not have the idea yet to light the ceiling up, which I kind of regret, but later on in the shoot I realized I could do that, so that was pretty cool. Also, one of the last shots over here, we moved the aperture MC from this position that we had before into like a compartment for sunglasses actually, and that lit him up without having to light up any of the interior lights, which actually just shine down more than nicely into his face, so that brought him out a little from the background. All right, so that's it for this tip. Basically, I'm just saying you can get a lot done with very small budget light. You can really polish the product with basically a few seconds of rigging. You can help your video so much just by bringing an aperture MC on a shoot. And the last video basically comes down to using tape, of all things. I love tape. Anybody that knows me knows I'm the king of tape. My parents always ask me for Christmas if I made them something out of tape, so I love tape. Anyways, I'm talking to the camera over here. So with this on, I'm basically using tape to limit the amount of wrap I'm getting on my face from a tube light. Basically, it's not an Astera tube, it's just the work light that I have from like my workbench over here. So basically what I'm trying to get is so the light ends over here and does not really spill all the way to the rim light, to the backlight I'm trying to get here. Because if I did not have this dark area, it would all just be light, and that's not what I want. So basically, you could see it on a BTS video. But if I draw it out somewhere over here, there's this workbench, and I'm over here, my legs, small torso, and I am blacking out this part of the thing, and the camera is shooting up here from this side. So I'm blacking it out from here, but I'm being lit from the back side. So this is where you see all the light being the brightest when it's coming from there and gently rolling off over here. And the takeaway from the last one is that you not always need to add a light. You can basically only shape the light by subtracting what is already there to what you know you want to get. So basically what I want to get in this situation is an upstage key. I know I want myself, the camera, and the light on the other side from the camera. So I get a nice wrap from this side, and the camera gets some shadow. I'm basically just limiting where the wrap goes around me, so I get enough of shadow, and then I'm adding in a rim. But basically what I'm trying to do is just do an upstage key. That's basically it, and I'm using tape to do it. And I think that's really great. You can get something done super fast with no lights and basically only shape available light to your desire. You don't need a lot of gear to get stuff done. Maybe you can get a little tape. You can get a lot of some black cloth and a light stand, and you can already start lighting your shots today. I hope some of these shots inspired you. Let me know what would you like to see next time if you want to see more lighting tutorials, because lighting is really one of my favorite things to do ever. Or if you want to see some more transition videos, or more how you think about an edit a little deeper than just on the surface, putting shots behind each other, a little philosophy, you know. Anyways, that's it for this one. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.